It's pretty clear to everyone that a major tenet of Trump's campaign and the whole movement, MAGA movement that he leads, is to minimize what's happened since World War II in American foreign policy from both parties, is staying out of forever wars. I can remember being involved, not directly in the Vietnam War, but definitely it had an impact on my life because I ended up joining the National Guard just before President Johnson went to an escalation of the Vietnam War by saying, and I'll do my best imitation, "We will stand in Vietnam." In 1965. This was one of our greatest tragedies in American history, not only military history, but I think cultural history as well. That was an example of a war that cost so many people, so many lives, that we should not have engaged in the way that we did. We also have other situations more recently with the first Gulf War by the first President Bush, but the decision by the second Bush president to invade Iraq and Saddam Hussein was one of the worst decisions in my mind. To his great credit, a number of years ago, President Trump, of course, not a politician at that time, but he came out very forcefully against the Bush decision to get involved. You can make a similar case to how long we stayed in Afghanistan, which, for example, President Obama, to his credit, campaigned on pulling back from the enormous expenditures that we were making in Iraq and did pull back, but as a somewhat counterweight to that, he emphasized continuing and even expanding the American presence in Afghanistan. And all of those situations now are a senior part of the Trump administration's efforts to find peace rather than entangling America in yet more foreign wars. And that is why the last few days, looking at what President Trump has done in the Middle East, are, I think, hopefully will go down as a magnificent legacy for not only President Trump, but for the whole MAGA movement and Republican Party movement because of the ceasefire that has been initiated between Israel and Iran. And so still early days, and we don't know what's going to happen, but my sense is that it makes no sense for Iran to break the ceasefire, nor, despite the interest by some, for Israel to break the ceasefire as well. So we shall see if that works. But if that's the case, then I think one of the reasons that we are hopeful of a more peaceful America and a less involvement in the affairs of foreign countries by the current administration will be successful.